Welcome to Monday Musings with Kissa, where I share what the heck happened last week, what I have planned for this week, and a story time, not in that particular order. This is the video companion to my Substack newsletter that I send every Thursday. So if you're not already subscribed, there's a button here where you can do so, and content as of this recording is currently free. Okay, y'all. Can I be honest? I can barely remember what happened last week, but I know a lot went down. The focus basically was on our cement project, which I call phase 2 of our backyard renovation. So the first phase was our pavers because we wanted to extend our covered patio, which has pavers on it, to have more space to host our friends and our family whenever we have people over. Phase 2 was to cement our side yard, mainly for one, drainage purposes, and then two, because people enter through our side yard whenever we host parties, we figured it would be great to make it as clean, as easy as possible so that people can enter and come and go as they need. And it just looks so beautiful and so great. I think that manicured look will really help. Another reason is it gets really windy where we live, and so having areas where there's a lot of dirt blows up a lot of the dust and things get really dusty in our backyard. So we wanted to be able to cover that area to make sure that we can minimize that as much as possible, because this family has super bad allergies. So all of this to say that the cement project phase 2 has been completed, and guys, it looks fabulous. I am so happy with the way it turned out. We are all loving it. We spent the entire weekend just basking in our new backyard. It just feels so new, and it feels so great to be able to be out there and it feeling like it is now a useful and like functional space where we can all enjoy it. Some business wins from last week was we sent our very first pallet to Amazon via LTL. So up until this point, we have been sending our product, our ube pancake mix, case by case. So we would send 5 cases at a time. Then we started sending 10 cases at a time, and the shipping costs were really adding up. So finally we got to a volume where we said, I think it's time we can send a pallet. So we got that pallet together, it got picked up, and it's on its way to Amazon as we speak. Man, the growth that we've experienced on Amazon, and to actually see it like come to fruition from a case here and a case there to now a pallet is such a huge win for us. It just feels like such an accomplishment. It feels really good. And then I kind of wanted to just share how I felt last week, because it felt like just a big week. It felt incredibly full. Like we were just jam-packed with things that were going on, that were starting up again, but it also felt really fulfilling. Life groups started at our church again, and we host an entrepreneur's life group here at our house. So we had people over on Tuesday night, and then Charlie's parents have been coming almost every day to help with the cement project. So all of us were so happy to be able to spend a lot of time with Charlie's parents. Unfortunately, I didn't get to some of my goals like my website audit and my vanity project, but that's okay because I feel just blessed and grateful that like I have the luxury to be able to move things around. That being said, on the personal side for this week, I am going to continue with the vanity project and my website audit. I haven't even started the website audit, so the goal is to get that going. The beginning of this week, we are going to focus on production because we got some new orders at the beginning of this week. We're going to make fresh product for that order, and then once that order is complete, then I'll move on to the website audit. The plan will probably be to start that website audit on Thursday and continue on Friday. Another goal for the business that is not going to be just for this week, but I'm going to start this week, is to close out our bookkeeping for 2025. So I do all of our bookkeeping currently. We used to have someone that would do our bookkeeping for us, but we're just not there where we can pay that kind of money. We will eventually, soon, someday, who knows, but we will someday. In the meantime, it's me. So I want to close out 2025 by the end of this month. And I have been working on it. I just have a few more months to go to reconcile everything and make sure it's ready for our CPA so that we can file our business taxes. So that is another project that I'm going to start this week, and I'm going to make it a goal to have it done no later than the end of the month of February. On the personal side, the goal is to continue the vanity project like I mentioned, and then we are entering into week 2 of life groups this week. I love life groups so much. It's one of my favorite ways to serve at church, and it's because I can really get to know people that are at church that I wouldn't necessarily meet when we go to service on Sundays. Not only that, but the conversations that we have are so rich and deep. It allows me to share my perspective, but it also helps me to see life events, things that people are going through others' eyes. And it just really opens my mind and my heart into different perspectives. And then last on the personal projects is, as I mentioned in our story time last week, we are working on helping Micah get involved in the kitchen. So that is going to be a continued project that we're going to be working on. It's one of the YouTube videos that I am filming. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because that will be coming soon, hopefully. But we are going to continue working on getting him comfortable in the kitchen and also take some responsibilities that he can do independently on his own. So making sure that there is certain times where he can make his bed or clean up his room a little bit, maybe a 5-minute tidy up, or help us clean up the playroom, whatever those responsibilities might be. It's not something that's really heavy lift for him, but it's just something that he can get in the habit of doing so that he can take some responsibility here at home. And then for today's story time, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. I got a few comments here about how you are also feeling the same way about when I posted that what it's like to be a mom in America video. And I just want to thank you because I know that it's bittersweet. But to know that there are other people that feel the same way is incredibly comforting. And if you do feel that way, if you do feel overwhelmed, filled with anxiety about what's going on, just know that you're not alone. And I want to share my gratitude for you to be honest with me and share your honesty, your heart with me. I appreciate it so much. And to be honest, this week I have had a little bite size of hope. If you watched the Bad Bunny performance at the Super Bowl, it just filled me with so much emotion, but also so much hope. I got choked up watching the performance, and even talking about it right now makes me shake a little bit because it has injected a hope that I haven't felt in a really long time. If you watched it, I hope you feel that too. And if you haven't watched it, I hope that you will. It was one of the things that have really injected a little bit of hope into my everyday. If you're in a place where all you see is discouragement, I get that. I'm not saying that we have to turn a blind eye and pretend that these things are not happening. Even talking about it on my Substack and on my YouTube channel has been really difficult for me. But I want to encourage you to take a moment to exhale and find those hopeful things that can ease your mind for a moment, because you can't keep injecting all of this information without burning out. It's just so hard to keep inhaling and inhaling and inhaling without taking a moment to exhale. So after you've had that exhale, maybe it's this video, maybe it's someone else's video, maybe it's a blog that you read. Just find something that will allow you to take a breath for a moment, pause, and then you can get back to it. It's not, the bad news out there is not going to stop just because you take a pause. Guys, there's still work to be done. Us as parents, we need to come together and make sure that our kids are going to grow up in a place where there is inclusion, there is love, there is kindness, there's honesty, transparency, and all of these things balanced. I firmly believe that. I want to thank you so much for listening today and watching. If you enjoyed this or you think it would be useful to someone else, please do share it with a friend. And for the full Monday Musings experience, you can subscribe to the Substack at justkissa.substack.com. Until next time, friends, know that you are a blessing, and I am so glad that you're here. Bye.